What's up, guys? Today we're going to be going over month 3, starting our own private soccer training company. It went kind of crazy. So if you want to hear about it, if you're starting your own soccer training company, coaching company, business, anything, service-based business, anything like that, you're going to find a lot of value in this business. We're going to be going over some of my wins and losses this past month, some of my goals for this next month, how much I made in compared to last month, some systems and processes I figured out, and what I'm going to be planning on doing for this next month. So yeah, stay tuned. We're about to go over some stuff. All right, let's get right into it. We're going to start off with my wins. This month, I did my first clinic, okay, and then right after that clinic, I did another clinic because tons of parents loved it. I put a thing that was I put a thing out there on Instagram that was like I got 10 spots available, okay, and it sold out immediately, which was kind of crazy, right? I can kind of show you what that kind of looked like right here. If you look right here, I didn't actually say, yeah, I did only 10 spots, first come first serve, and as you can see, yeah, I literally just put this out there. The thing is, only got like 7 likes, right? But outside of the people that I knew, say I knew like 5 people that I could just text and invite them, okay? After that, like referrals went out, right? I got literally 2 new clients just from posting that. I posted that as a reel, just screen recorded it and turned it into a reel on one of my reels as well as posted it on my account. But yeah, one of the guys, 2 of the guys that showed up were like, yeah, we saw your reel, want to show up. I'm like, yeah, bro, like makes you feel like social media is actually working. So definitely recommend just put yourself out there for a clinic. This was going to be trial prep clinic because tryouts were this last week, right? And if I can even show you, we literally did that clinic right after that clinic. All the parents liked it, right? So I literally just did another one, and that clinic sold out too. Well, the first one had 8 kids, the second one had 10 because I think about a 10-to-1 ratio for soccer clinics. That's about all you need. But here, if you look, if we go down from from April 1st, because we're going over the month of April this month, April 1st to April 30th. And this is just from clinics. My other private training comes from Venmo, so I'll go over what I actually made this month in a second. But just from clinics, I made $850, right? It says $950, but I had to refund somebody $100 because there was some confusion. And this was actually somebody who had siblings, so it was 2 kids because it was $50 per person, right, for a 3-hour clinic, or no, it was a 2.5-hour clinic, $50 per person, which is about $20 per hour averaged out, right? Which is honestly a pretty good deal. So I made about on my first clinic, I made like 350 or something. In the second clinic, I made like 500, something like that, right? And yeah, I do lose a little bit from Stripe, but that's okay. So yeah, then moving on from the clinics, I also tons of privates, okay? Tons of private trainings, as you can see here in my calendar. Private, 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 little small group, small group right here, small group here, private, small group, private. So tons of privates all over here. Yeah, so a lot of that stuff went on. Then, okay, I ended up actually making more than I made last month. And I also did speed and agility. So I'll go over that in a second. But if we go over and look right here, soccer and agility training data, okay? So for the month of March, I ended up making 970 soccer, 155 from speed and agility, and it came out to be $1,125. Month of April, as you can see, 1,700 from soccer, and this is the clinics, bro. They bring in money one day, $500. Okay, you do a clinic a week, right? That's $2,000. Now I didn't do that, and I'm not necessarily able to do that. You have weekends. It's hard to just. It's not people don't feel like they need to show up to a clinic just every weekend. It's just like a normal training at that point. But if you can get it up to that point where you're making $500 in the morning, every morning when you go out and train, I mean, because it's like a clinic, but it can turn into what's just like, okay, Saturday group sessions. And that's what we're going to kind of get into, hopefully, here comes soon. But I made, if you take 850, that was my clinic. So really, I made about the same amount for my privates. You just add in those 2 clinics and you get the same amount for, I mean, it like doubles your money just from 2 clinics that I ran, right? And then you got your speed and agility. It went down a little bit. My systems weren't really in place 100%, and that's going to be one of my L's. But yeah, I came out to making $1,820. Okay, this is just from literally private soccer training, month of April. Okay, and it's still not much. Still not much. We're still planning on doing a bunch more. But as you can see here in April, I kind of have this little Google sheet that ChatGPT figured out for me to track my how much I'm making. But like, I'll just put in basically an athlete's name, and I put them all here. An athlete's name, and then I can put how much money they're making, and then I can say if it's from soccer, speed and agility. Really, really nice, right? And if you want to like learn how to do this kind of thing, you can just kind of text me and I can kind of give you some free information. I mean, I love helping people out. People have helped me out all the time. But yeah, as you can see, speed and agility slowed down a little bit. Not too many people showing up to the speed classes, but you know, that's because I haven't been focusing as much on it, as much as I need to at least. But yeah, went up a lot from March to April. February 790, then March, then April. And it's definitely going to be getting harder for me to keep staying at that pace. Reason being is because I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's getting hotter, right? So clinics are going to be very, very hard to do. I've been on like, I've been trying to call tons of places to figure out a place. Very, very hard to find a place that I could even do a clinic in the summer because you can't really train during the day or anything like that here in Phoenix. So we're gonna have to figure out some of that stuff. But moving over to some of my losses, okay? Spent a lot of time, right? And the reason is my systems are out of place, okay? And my speed training is unorganized. Um, and when your systems are out of place and it's not organized, you catch yourself texting parents constantly, all this kind of stuff that you really should not be spending that much time doing. It should be all processed, right? You just not processed like processed food, but like your systems are and processes are in place. So you can just kind of, okay, these are my dates that are available. I'm trying to send them out. And that's kind of one of my goals that I'm going to go over moving forward. But spending too much time just texting parents, communicating all this stuff, when in reality, I should just be able to say, okay, Sunday, I'm going to be training from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. And just kind of like, that's all I need to be able to tell myself. I can kind of put that in somewhere. And then everybody else just goes and does all the scheduling themselves, right? And that's kind of the goal. And that's going to be one of my goals moving forward. But didn't focus on social media. So one of the things that I know that I'm going to have to do is focus on social media, because I know that sooner or later, I'm gonna want to transfer my business over to social media, and slowly, I want that to happen, where I'm selling digital products, online courses, online subscriptions, where like I'm kind of training online. Either that's like when it comes to anything, just have to have a brand online, and I did not focus on that much this month. So those are my losses. But let's go over some of my goals, because this is definitely, I think, always one of the most important things. And okay, I don't know what's going on there, but it doesn't really matter. Let's go over some goals. I need to prioritize my time better. There's a lot of times where I like sit in the morning and I've got these things that I know I need to do, but then I catch myself just like texting parents or on the phone with a parent about all this random stuff. So I am a coach now, so that's like a side hobby, but I'm not putting coach. So like if y'all think this is my only job, it's not. I'm actually in school and I'm coaching, and this is the money I'm making just from private training. Coaching is completely separate how much money I'm making from that. I don't even care to talk about how much money I'm making coaching. It's not that much, but also like everything that I'm sharing here is just from private training, because I know this is where I want to go. Coaching is just like a supplement for me to make some more money, for me to get my name out there. So I definitely recommend anybody that's starting, kind of get yourself into a position where you're going to be seen. I get a lot of my clients now from coaching, and that's really, really helpful. And don't forget, I've literally only been doing this. My first training was like my first training was like January 30th. I only had one training in January, and it all started from there. So it can all happen really, really quickly. You can get a clientele really quickly, okay? So let's go over my systems. My goals. Prioritize time better, right? Make sure that I'm focusing on the most important things first and not dilly-dallying. Get my systems in place for my training, so I don't have to spend as much time organizing and planning and texting with parents. Really, really big one on saving my own time, making sure I can focus all of my time on the important things. As I said, maybe that's some type of sign-up portal where I can just like put my times in and then they just schedule, instead of me having to like try to text all these parents and put trainings back to back, and it's just too much, right? You're waiting on them to respond instead of like it's you're wasting too much of your own time, and that's very, very important, especially with the service-based business, when you're genuinely trading your time for money. All right. And if that time is not just during the training and it's outside the training, shit, I spend a lot of time planning my trainings too. So it all kind of adds up really quickly, and I don't really have time for as many other things going on. Big one here. I didn't really like put these in order. I just kind of put my goals down. So it's not like these are in order, but focus on my social media. This is going to be maybe one of my most important ones. At the end of the day, if I'm not focusing on my social medias and growing my brand, like if I'm just focusing on making money that month, then I'm never going to get that like time freedom where I can actually continue to make money when I'm not working and I'm not trading my time for money. If I had a digital product, I would literally be making passive income after I make this product. But the only way to get a digital product besides like running ads, which I'm not to that point yet, is I have to have a brand. And even if you do run ads, likely they're going to check out your socials and see, okay, how well known is this guy? What kind of content is he able to produce, right? And you got to get used to that. You can't just say, okay, I'm ready to do a digital product and I'm just going to go buy someone and they're going to make a digital product and it's going to sell. Now, there are people out there that can do that, but I recommend you go through the rabbit holes. Like I haven't hired a single person yet. So I'm learning how to edit, right? I'm learning how to do my videos. I'm learning how to record my YouTube videos and my reels and all of this stuff. Now, obviously, later on the line and not too long, like I want to hire somebody to do all of my editing for me. As a matter of fact, that's probably going to be my first hire. They just do all my social medias. All I've got to do is record my videos, right? And I just send everything over to them. They run my Instagram, my Facebook, my TikTok, my YouTube, all that stuff, right? That would be awesome. All my reels. But this is very, very important for where I'm going, or where I want to go. So I'm going to do one reel or short per day. Quality. It can't just be quantity. It's got to be quality. And mark my word, and actually in my head, it was actually five per day, like on the weekdays. So I have 2 days, because you don't want to, one thing that I've learned is you don't want to set yourself a goal that you cannot achieve, or that you're likely to not achieve, because it's like, okay, say you tell yourself, I'm gonna wake up at 4 in the morning every single morning. Well, a week goes by and you didn't wake up at 4 in the morning. You've like lied to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then actually do it, but make it to where it's valid. Make sure you can prove. Go step by step. So maybe right now I'm doing 5 per week, right? But then next 3 months from now, I'm like, okay, I can do two times per day. I can do 10 per week. Then I can do 20 per week. And then you're just popping reels out, and that's how those people blow up on social media. But you gotta start out with realistic goals, and that's how I'm doing. One YouTube video per week. This is also gonna be hard, right? Really, really hard. So we're doing one YouTube video per week. I also want to plan my summer clinics going this next month. All right, because it's going to be, got to figure out a place to train indoors if that's going to happen, whether I might do late at night or early in the morning under some lights at night, or because that's the only time you can really train in Phoenix. So if you think that your location's not the best or something's up, dude, I have my own problems too here in Phoenix. We cannot train from like 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. during the summer. So think about that. How are you a trainer if you can't do that? Well, you got to either find a place to train indoors and pay a shit ton of money, right? And that's hard. Or you can train early in the morning and get systems where you got big groups in the morning and you're limiting your privates, trying to get more groups. If you want to do a private, maybe you have to tell them, hey, I'm doing my privates indoors, but you're gonna have to pay extra, right? And that's where I'm kind of going. But I've got my own problems. I don't have any clinics figured out. I have no idea what I'm gonna do here in the summer to make money or to really capitalize on my training. But I'm gonna figure it out, and that's one of my goals. Plan my summer clinics. I'm planning on doing some sort of beach soccer stuff in the morning's gonna be really, really tough. Like play a ton of music, get on like a volleyball court and do like some speed training and some like put up 2 little goals. That'd be really dope. And then also, yeah, just figure out how I'm gonna do, where I'm gonna do my summer morning and night group sessions, because that's going to be really important going on into the summer. And I've got to plan it ahead of the time because, bro, if I look at all my competitors that are way bigger than me, that where I kind of want to go, they've had their clinics up since like December. So I'm way behind the curve on this, right? But I'm trying to become one of those big dogs. I'm trying to compete, right? I want to take their clients, all that kind of stuff, right? So, and not just in a bad way. I mean, I want to be better than them. Not just how I want to take their clients. Like I want to be the best at what I do. That's well, I'm going to get to that in a minute. But no, actually, I'm going to get to that right now. One of the most important things that I could say to anybody starting their own service-based business, or especially soccer or any sort of sports coaching business, is if your service is not good, it doesn't matter how good at business you are, you're not going to be that successful. You're going to cap out, and the reason is because you're going to start getting talk about you that isn't quality, right? I make sure whether I've had a shitty day, a good day, a midday, every training session I show up to is great quality, and I want every single parent to walk out of that training session and say, "Wow, that was a good training session." And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if everybody, every single one, even if you've trained this kid 10 times already, it's still got to be amazing that 11th time. And that is so important for people in this business because that's what's going to get you out there, right? All of my clients now come from referrals. I don't run ads, all right? I've got a couple clients from social media for sure. And like my coaching, and people see me as a coach now, but they know that I'm putting on baller fucking trainings, and that's how I'm growing. So that's so important. Probably one of the most important things for you. You got to be able to provide this service really, really well. And you don't even have to be a great soccer player. You know what I mean? Shit, I didn't go pro, semi-pro, none of that. I played club soccer in college, and I'm 1 year out, and I'm able to still provide a baller training session. Okay, so let's go into more of my goals. So I want to give a free trial. So a lot of parents have been saying like I'm good with mindset and good with like mental coaching, so they've been wanting me to maybe do that. And you know what? I have no experience in this besides just talking to kids about problems. I don't know. I have no experience. So how do you do this? And this is how I know I'm going to do it because I'm confident, one, but also I can't just go ahead and immediately charge because I have no idea what I'm going to charge for. I have no idea what they want to pay for really. I know it's some sort of mindset training. I know there are mindset coaches out there, but for me to dabble in this industry, I'm going to have to offer some free stuff to get my experience up, to get feedback from parents. So that's my goal this coming up this next month. Give literally 2 of my clients just completely free. First of all, you're building that connection with that parent. How are they going to leave you, bro? No, you're going to have a great relationship with their kid, and it's for free. What the heck? I'm going to be asking them questions. Hey, what can I do to do better with this mindset training? Did you like this? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And then I'm going to be starting to think about really ways about how I'm going to transfer over to online, and then make sure that all of my social media and the stuff that's going out is focused towards this goal. So if I'm just posting funny ass content on social media, but at the end of the day, I want to be selling a diet plan for soccer players or for athletes, or a speed training program, or a dribbling program, or a shooting program. Like, how am I going to be able to get followers and get my audience to end up buying that stuff if my audience is people that are laughing at funny things? You know what I mean? Like, I got to make sure that whatever I plan on selling in the future digitally or doing, I got to make sure I start to prime my social medias to get to that point, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So that's definitely another one of my goals. So yeah, going back over just kind of an overview, dude, great month. I know one of my goals, I'm going to say this right now. I don't think I'm going to make as much money next month as I did this month. You know why? Because I'm not going to be able to do the clinics that I did. It's going to be a lot harder, but also because I'm focusing on something that I think is going to be a bigger return on investment in the long run, and that is my social media. I'm going to be spending more time on my social media, going out to the field maybe by myself just to record some videos on tutorials about how to do things. You know what I mean? And that's not going to make me any money. I might get 5 views. Like this video is probably getting like 20 views, right? With like no subscribers. Same thing with my other YouTube account, but with my soccer YouTube account, not my personal. But at the end of the day, it's worth it, and I know it will be worth it in the long run. So yeah, hey, DM me if you have any questions or or just YouTube. Just comment if you have any questions. But yeah, dude, hope y'all enjoyed this video. It's honestly just for me because when I do get to where I'm feeling like I actually created something big that has a really big impact. At the end of the day, my goal is to have a big impact on the soccer community. I want to give back to that that space. You know what I mean? And I want players to have the ability, whether that's through private, whether that's kind of more expensive, or group that can get down to really, really cheap, have the ability to get supplemental training if they're not getting that attention in team practices. Because quite frankly, you're not going to become a star if you're just training in practice. And also, a lot of kids don't know what to do on their own. That's what I'm trying to teach. What can you do on your own if maybe you don't even have enough money? That's where my digital products are going to be coming in. I can give a really cheap digital product a really valuable digital product that can tell kids what to do on their own, but for cheap. Therefore, you might not be able to spend as much money. Your parents might not have the money to pay for a one-on-one, but at the end of the day, they can pay $25 for a dribbling course. Who wouldn't do that? That scales, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of what my goal is and what I kind of want to do. But yeah, y'all have a good one.